Good evening. Welcoming you to episode 230 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. So glad that you are with us. Thank you for taking time out of your day to spend it with us. You could have done anything, and choosing to spend it with us, we greatly appreciate. Our sponsors of the Kirby on Sports podcast, we cannot thank them enough for all of their support of the Kirby on Sports podcast. The title sponsor, Frederick County Parks and Recreation, PM Plus Reserves, Shenandoah Primitives, Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate, Barrett, Pest and Termite Services, Mark Lynch with Guild Mortgage, Shenandoah Music, Icon Media, On the Road Driving School, Nulook Landscaping, the Cider House, and Barry Pearson with Equipment Share Advanced Solutions. For all your equipment rental needs, contact 540-935-1069. Don't Sleep Energy is the official energy drink sponsor of the Kirby on Sports podcast. You can use our promo code KOS Podcast for 12% off your order every single time. With all that being said, we will not waste any more time. I will personally say I might not be on my A game today, but I'm going to give it my best shot. I am joined, as always, by one half of the three-man booth, a very great friend in my opinion. And
correction, 1/3.
Yes, 1/3. See, I'm off my A game. Dan Dembski. Dan, how are you, sir?
I was gonna say it, but he jumped in and
Yes.
beat me to it. So.
Yes. No, I told you I was not going to be on my A game. I've been up since 1 a.m, so we'll see how this goes.
You never have to say that. They'll never know if you never say that. So
yeah,
that's the way I see it, right?
Yeah, but I do apologize, and
I forgive you.
We welcome the three-time rating, defending Kirby on Sports PickEm champion. He needs no introduction because he is that famous. Carlos, the Swiss Army Knife Martinez.
I mean, I don't understand why you added that he doesn't need an introduction thing while you're doing my introduction.
Well, he's doing an introduction.
That literally contradicts everything you just said.
It's a really good point, actually.
Well,
that is a really good
point.
See,
I screwed it up again. I apologize, Carlos.
No. I always feel sorry for you. We're not going to feel sorry for you. That's enough of this.
Welcome, boys. How are we doing?
Oh, jolly,
Good.
golly, and all the above.
Swell.
It's just a Taylor Swift album release week. There's nothing big going on in the world right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't even know who that is. Obviously kidding, Carlos.
All right. So let's not waste any more time. Another week of NFL football has passed and a lot of headlines to catch you up on. So let's get this started. I feel like at the top of the list when we were discussing this, obviously starting with Malik Nabers, he's out for the season for the New York Giants. And, people are talking about the turf at MetLife Field.
The MetLife turf strikes again.
How many people has it gotten?
How
many people?
Too many.
I mean, I hear people complaining about it, but I know most of the league not most of the league, some stadiums have turf. But apparently it seems like people always have an issue with the turf at MetLife Field.
Well, I mean, MetLife, so I think it was a couple years ago, they changed the turf at MetLife because obviously people were complaining about the old turf so much. They got this different type of turf that's more grassy, I guess you could say, is the best way I've heard it described. It's supposed to be closer to natural grass, and yet it's still happening. Obviously, we are three stooges here. We know nothing about the science of turf and all that stuff, but it does really seem like turf, especially at MetLife, is really causing a lot of injuries. But we do know these types of injuries do happen on natural grass. Look at FedEx, for years was the place where ACLs also went to die. It's more so these teams have to invest. I think they should all move to natural grass. Also, like when the World Cup comes here next year, most of these NFL stadiums are going to be laying natural grass on top of the turf. It's not always the best. The ball does weird things. In all honesty, these stadiums should just all be natural grass. And I understand that it takes a lot more work, but we've seen Arizona can do it with their indoor stadium. Vegas has been able to figure it out. Jesus. All these teams can figure it out, but there's also a lot of teams that don't want to figure it out because it's just cheaper to have turf.
I have a good point. Oh, go ahead, Dan. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay. So, the NFL, you have a lot of people viewing the NFL and the product that it is. They basically have a day of the week plus more on Sunday for football all day, pretty much. So when it comes to that, in how much money is invested in the cash flow, the revenue, and again, I'm just talking, but I feel like if an investment is made on a player that you think will do the franchise well, I feel like behind that too, you should make necessary investments to make sure you have the most pristine playing surface to make sure it is 100% safe. I could just be this just could be a bad take.
No, I agree with this take 100%.
Yeah, I feel like if you're like paying a lot of money for a player to try to bring you good results and bring the fans in, why not invest in the playing surface as well? And that's just
that's a great point.
That's just not the playing surface as well. That's also the staff taking care of it, because I think that's a big part too.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a recurring issue in the NFL that we have brought up pretty frequently with teams that still have turf fields, and obviously MetLife has been one of those that's been pointed to a lot recently, but I think just in general in the last number of years, I think it's kind of a twofold situation. I think the playing surface, like Kirby said, I mean, you have to make the improvements, you have to make the changes, and let's be honest, it's not like these teams are hurting for money. They have the money.
Maybe the Bengals are, but
okay, that's fair. But again, I think there's money within these teams, and if not, the NFL could certainly chip in a big portion as well if teams really don't want to pay for it, and give them an incentive or like a subsidy to, hey, go get the right playing surface for your stadium, or have the NFL just mandate a rule whereby 2029 or 2030, whatever, every stadium has to be natural grass or some sort of grass at that point. So I think that's generally what we're going to see at some point, especially if we keep seeing these star players have these injuries, because it's continued to be an issue across the NFL. I think part of it too is also just these athletes in the NFL are bigger, stronger, faster than ever. They're changing direction at such
they're way more explosive.
They're way more explosive, and so I think even if every stadium was natural grass, we'd still see these injuries continue to pop up just because of how these players are nowadays compared to what they were just even 20 years ago. So I think that's kind of part of it too, and I think guys just have to learn how to play a little differently maybe than they are accustomed to. And I'm not going to blame anyone for an injury like this. It's a total freak injury, of course, but it just hurts the product, quite frankly, and it hurts. Obviously, not even mentioning the injury itself and the player involved. You're talking about it hurts the product on the field as well, and people aren't able to see the best product they can see and enjoy the best product that they enjoy. So it's a multifaceted issue. I'll be interested to see if the NFL starts to take some action here, because there's been so many of these injuries throughout the years on these turf surfaces, and it's been hard to watch, quite frankly, over and over again. So I hope the NFL starts to step up and do the right thing. Now, what that looks like, I have no idea, but I think there are some ways they can start to explore, how do we address this and how do we move forward, while trying to put the best product on the field every week. I think that's going to be the ultimate challenge for the NFL to try to sort out.
I think the only I mean, I guess I feel like if you have an outdoor stadium, there should be no reason why you don't have natural grass, because with the way, with engineering and technology that we have nowadays, like if you're in like the Buffalo Bills, for example, right? Their new stadium is going to be natural grass. And they're obviously up north. So like if their concern is like we want to stop the field from, being able to freeze, and we want to be able to, heat it up and melt all the snow and stuff like that. You can do that with natural grass. They figured out ways to do it. If it's a maintenance thing, it's like, okay, well, yeah, it's going to cost more to maintain that, grass. And sometimes you're going to have to tear it up and reseed it and everything like that. So like, I understand that there's a cost to this thing, but like you said, the NFL is not hurting for money right now. As a matter of fact, they're about to get even richer because apparently they're going to be able to renegotiate these media deals, starting next year. I think they have an opportunity to opt out somehow. I obviously don't know the whole things about that, but I read that in a story that apparently they're already considering that because they know that, everything is just, it's all money right now. And the NFL is obviously a hot commodity. So the NFL is only going to get richer and richer and richer as time goes on. But
agreed.
And so that's why I'm like, okay, I understand that there will be added costs, but you guys are, $1 billion organization, billions of dollar organizations. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys, again, are the most valuable franchise in the world, so there should be no reason why you guys can't afford to have natural grass in your stadiums.
And this is hard too, because, the NFL talks all the time about protecting the players. They want to keep the players safe. They want to do all these things. And I think usually when we hear that, we think of concussions, right? We think of the Guardian caps. We think of the helmet advance.
I hate the Guardian caps. I hate them, but
they're terrible. And if they looked cooler, I think a lot more players would wear them.
They look so goofy.
They're very goofy.
I'm sorry, like you don't look intimidating with it. Like Dobbs looks so bad. I'm like, dude.
No. Yeah, so I think that's kind of the line the NFL has to decide kind of what side they want to be on, whether they want to enforce something that, makes the surfaces all grass and protect the safety of the players, or do they just want to leave it up to the individual teams? I think that's the tough thing here that the NFL has to decide. But, overall, it's a very complicated and tough issue. Again, I think there's going to be these types of injuries regardless. But my thing is, like, hey, how can we mitigate this? How can we make this where it's not a recurring issue because of one factor, because of one thing? So that's really what I want to see. I want to see the NFL be solutions-oriented, which it usually isn't. It's an organization that generally is not.
They're definitely reactive more than proactive.
Absolutely. And, they're always down to throw money at the problem, so that's never been an issue. And I think, again, this will be something that is another thing that they throw money at, of course. But it's a change that has to be made. If you want to keep the players safe, if you want to keep the product lasting, not to mention, like, hey, people are going to, like, kids who might want to play football are going to continue to see these types of injuries to their favorite players. And they're going to be like, why would I want to put myself through that? So, again, not quite to the concussion issue that, of course, the NFL is still dealing with, of course, and trying to, convince, and really help buy into youth football. That could be another factor, too. Like, there's a lot of these non-contact injuries that we've seen. So I don't know. There is no easy solution, but I think certainly the NFL has to do something, and I agree with both you guys that it has to start at the simple level. We have to get grass surfaces on all these stadiums, and I think we've seen it make a big difference in the stadiums that have changed it in the last 5-6 years. There have to be a study done. There has to be numbers.
I mean, when you look at over in Europe, they obviously have mega stadiums and stuff for soccer and everything. And a lot of them are natural grass inside. Like Real Madrid's big, they just remodeled their whole entire stadium, completely changed the way it looks and everything. And they have natural grass inside. And they're able to get it to go underground, and they have like special lights and everything to help it grow and everything. It's like a super high tech stadium. And that's my thing is like, okay, these teams in Europe are able to figure this out. Why can't the most richest league in the world or the NFL figure this out either. Like,
it just depends on how much they're willing to pay attention to the problem. Have they really been paying attention to
I think it also depends on the stadium deal itself, right? Because there's some stadium like
they're individual. They're individual based on team by team.
Yeah, not every team actually owns their stadium. Like the Vikings, for example, they don't own US Bank Stadium.
Right.
I'm trying to think. I mean, obviously the biggest one was no, actually the Vikings were the biggest one. Oh, well, the Raiders. Yes. The Raiders left. Obviously, they left Vegas. They left to go to Vegas because of the fact of the whole stadium issue. So that's the thing, is that if there's a thing where the city itself, Tennessee's another one, right? The Titans, they don't own their stadium. They kind of lease it in a sense. So like,
good point.
All these teams that maybe don't own their stadium, why would they invest in putting in a grass field when it's not their stadium? Whereas the example I use, Real Madrid, they own their stadium.
Yeah. I think again that creates another layer of issue that the NFL is going to have to sort through. It's going to be very individually team based, like we talked about at the top. Like, what can teams afford to do this on their own? If not, is the NFL willing to chip in? To have a kind of a blanket authorization of money set aside to say
it would have to be an initiative. I think it would have to be a league-wide initiative where the league itself is paying for it.
Right, 100%.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
And if they truly care about the safety of the players, if they're really going to sit there and talk about that all the time, because they continue to act like they do anyway, I think they've done a lot better job. Don't get me wrong, in the last decade, but then this should be a priority for them, because we continue to see star players, have potential career-altering injuries. I mean, with the torn ACL, you can come back, but I mean, I think stats would show that you're never the same player you once were. You lose a step or two.
It depends. I think it depends your age. Yeah, I think it depends on your age.
Malik Nabers is young enough where he'll be able to bounce back pretty much fully, I think. But I also don't know if he's had any other previous torn ACLs in college or whatever. I don't think he has, but
not that I can think of.
But that plays a factor too, right? Because if it's like a second or third, again, we know all this stuff, but I think again it's a complicated issue. But the NFL has to start being, as Carlos alluded to, proactive instead of being reactive. Let's try to get out ahead of something instead of waiting for it to happen, and then now we're acting like it's an issue, which many of us have been calling on this issue for a long, long time. We talked about it on this podcast, seemingly 2 or 3 times a season. So. Yeah, that's my overall thought. The NFL is really going to have to do their work in this, and obviously to lose those 2 guys again, or
Malik was the one. We didn't lose Tyreek because of that.
No, right. It's a huge blow to the game for sure, and also just see a young player have a non-contact injury like that. It's just brutal. So, wish him the best. Hope he makes a speedy recovery. And again, I think on the medical side of it, obviously, like Carlos said, like with his age and given the advancements in ACL repair and stuff like that, I think he's going to be fine. But this is a very hard issue. The NFL is really has to step up here, no doubt.
Yeah, I just want 2 short stories. Yeah, it's sort of off topic, but Clark County High School, they have Bermuda grass. I'm telling you, looking at Bermuda grass, that's incredibly well maintained, and
it feels weird on your feet, though.
well, I see some of the coaches too walking around pregame warmups in bare feet.
It feels weird. It feels weird.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really been like that, like felt it to see how it really feels, but. It
feels weird when you step on it. It feels weird.
And here's one more. Brentsville District High School. I was told this by someone I know. Brentsville District has allegedly some of the nicest Bermuda grass in the state, I believe.
Big grass podcast we are now, huh?
No, but
this is the Josh Kirby on Landscaping podcast.
We're a big grass podcast. I understand your point. I was just making the joke that we're a big grass podcast, right?
Hey, shout out Nulook Landscaping for that.
Yeah, there you go.
But
there you go.
Brentsville District, they have some of the nicest Bermuda grass. Plus, they get an outside company to come in and maintain it. And this is a high school. Plus, Brentsville District apparently offers landscaping courses where students can go out onto the turf and learn different things and help maintain the playing surface that their team plays on.
Dope. That's dope. I don't know what to do with that information. I'm not in high school anymore. Hey, but that's very informative. Very informative.
Headline. Let's move on.
The next headline: Tyreek Hill dislocating his knee. Some ligaments, I believe, were involved.
Tore his ACL.
He is out for the season. He tore his ACL. Really gruesome. I did see a video of that, and I'm like,
yeah, it was not great to look at.
I feel bad for him, but Dolphins get the win, but without Tyreek Hill, you know.
I mean, even with Tyreek Hill, let's be honest, the Miami Dolphins don't really have a shot this season. They're just kind of cooked.
They're no good this
in
year.
Terms of Tyreek, it hurts my heart. You know, he's a Chiefs legend. You know, we wouldn't have won that first Super Bowl without him. And you know, we all every Chiefs fan I know has had fantasies of, you know, him coming back to the Kansas City Chiefs one day. But this was a pretty gruesome injury. Whether he'll be able to come back from it, I don't know. It could be a career ender. Right? He just got into his. I think he's 31.
Yeah, brutal.
So I don't necessarily know. I think he'll come back, but who knows if he'll be the same.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's a gruesome injury, to say the least. I didn't really want to see that, but anyway, and again, another big blow, a star in the NFL. I know the Dolphins, like you said, Carlos, not great this season. We know their struggles, but he's still a great player. One of those guys who, I mean, any team would love to have in their locker room, I think for sure, and have on the field. So. It's a big loss in the NFL, and obviously the way it happened. Again, it's worth noting that this is a violent sport. Stuff like this is going to happen from time to time, but it's just, and this sadly is one of those things. It's like a stark reminder of that. Usually a couple times a season we see it, unfortunately. So, just a reminder that this is a violent game, and unfortunately these types of injuries can happen from time to time. So. All the best to Tyreek Hill. I hope he heals up quickly.
Amen.
Again, great advancements in you know, medical procedures and stuff like that. So I'm sure he's
he had surgery today. So
okay, yeah. So wow. Yeah, that's really all I got. The game itself, I don't really have much to add. So and the Dolphins season, I think we kind of know how they've been trending. So I'm not really gonna add anything to that conversation that hasn't already been said before by others.
Yeah, they beat the Jets. They beat the Jets.
Yeah. What cool. You want a medal?
Cool.
Kirby.
Well, from one wide receiver to another wide receiver who is currently not getting that many targets, and after a win against the Buccaneers, putting out a questionable post on social media. I know we're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but wanted to throw that out there.
Are you going to explain more about the situation? Like, what am I working with here?
I tried to preface it. So AJ Brown.
There we go. Jesus.
Yeah. AJ Brown.
Come on, host.
I'm trying my best. AJ Brown puts out some sort of post on social media, and I can only assume it goes to how many targets he's getting in the game, especially last week in the win against the Buccaneers. I would imagine he has every right to be frustrated in this situation if it's what he's referring to, if you get what I mean.
Sorry. I'm pulling up the stats right now. Sorry. I was not ready for this. Yeah, I mean, you're looking at, so they've had 4 games this season. He had 1 catch against the Cowboys. He had 5 against the Chiefs. His biggest game was against the Rams, where he had 6 receptions for 109 yards and 1 touchdown. And then he only has 2 receptions against the Buccaneers for 7 yards. It's kind of crazy to think that you have one of the best wide receivers in the league, and you are hardly using him at all. As a matter of fact, the crazy stat that still baffles my mind is the fact that the Eagles won that game without completing a single pass in the second half. And yeah, I can understand why he's getting frustrated, because wide receivers, their value is based on what stats they bring, and he's not feeling like he's involved. He felt like he was involved against the Rams. You saw how hyped he was against the Rams. And then you go back to this, to another game where he's not really getting a lot of action. He's not getting a lot of yards. And then again, in the second half, you're not even completing a single pass to any receiver. And it's not like it's just AJ Brown in the ship. Devontae Smith is in this boat too. He's not necessarily putting up numbers either. Look, at the end of the day, the Eagles are winning, and they're winning without needing to use him. I think that should kind of scare people. But at the same time, it should also concern Eagles fans too, is that, okay, but what happens if he starts not being on board with this and he's,
to get out.
And like things kind of go wrong? Is he willing to do this whole team first approach? You can't blame the guy if he doesn't want to do it, because like I said, the value of a wide receiver comes from there's the stats, their production, and if he's not producing, they can be held against him. Oh, well, you only had 1 reception against the Cowboys. Why are we going to give you, a big mega contract? When in reality, it's just Jalen Hurts was handing the ball off or just wasn't passing very well. I think it's kind of a travesty to not be using AJ Brown, just because I think he's, like I said, I think he's one of the top wide receivers in the league. And yeah, I can understand why he would be frustrated.
Yeah, I mean, he still leads the team in targets. I get his frustration. I think if you look at, obviously he and, as Carlos alluded to, Devontae Smith lead the team in targets with 28 targets and 20 targets. Not a lot through 4 weeks, that's for sure. But the Eagles have seemed to... As Carlos drinks his workout.
That's some good water, dude. I love H2O.
I heard that come through on the mic. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I was chugging that. It was so good. It was hitting the right spot. Sorry, totally derailed the podcast once again. My bad.
You're good.
I ain't hating on it. I love the H2O, the good old agua, but.
All right, Kirby, you went too far. Yeah, so 28 targets, again, only 14 catches, which is really not a lot through 4 weeks. But the Eagles are kind of strange. It feels like they're trying to figure out their identity on offense, which at this point I thought we knew who the Eagles were after what happened last year. It's just kind of weird. It seems like they're kind of imposters right now. Like they don't know what they are. So maybe that's kind of what the case is, because I think their offense has been a bit dysfunctional as well, but they're just happy to run the football, and they run the tush push so much more now than I think they ever have before. At least it seems like it in my point of view. I don't know the numbers on that, but yeah, I mean, I get AJ Brown's frustration, but at the same time, you're winning games, you're 4-0, you're gonna win that division. It's you're gonna have another probably deep playoff run. Where else would you rather play? That's my thing, right? Sure, you might go to a team where you
Kansas
can get
City.
most of the targets.
I don't think everybody wants to Kansas City.
Everybody wants to play in Kansas City.
Do they, though? Devontae Adams didn't want to.
If they want to win Super Bowls, yeah, that's true. Well, anyway, yeah, I mean, where else are you realistically going to go? Okay, Kansas City, if you want to play there, but now that Kansas City has a couple of its weapons back, or at least one of their big weapons back, you can see that
2 more weeks. 2 more weeks.
2 more weeks
till Rice comes back. And then you guys get to see the full power of the dark side.
Well, I don't need to. I already saw it. But
we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Save it.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's silly. Like, it'd be one thing if the Eagles were 0-4 and their offense was playing this way, but they're 4-0. Like be a team guy. Like, and I get it. Receivers, are always this way though. That's just kind of in their personality. Like, to be, I hate to use the word diva, but they kind of are.
Sometimes they gotta be. Sometimes they gotta be.
I get it. And listen, I think he's earned the right to be that way, right? He's one of the best receivers in the NFL. There's no question about it. But at the same time, like I would just enjoy the winning. If they were losing, I'm all for it, right? Every player can complain, especially the receivers. So, yeah, I don't really get it, because if you really want to be traded elsewhere, where do you want to go? Do you want to play for a crap team that's won one game so far, but you get twice the amount of targets? Okay, perfect. But you're not going to win, and you're just going to be frustrated that you're losing. So it's like you can't win with some guys, I think, in a lot of cases.
And at the end of the day, that tweet might not have even been about him not getting targets. We might just be interpreting this completely wrong.
Yeah, people kind of run with it, so you just never know for certain. That is true.
Yeah. So, to me, I think it's more so he's just frustrated. He wants to be involved. He wants to be part of the reason why the team wins. Just being out there. Like, I mean, just think about how much that must suck sometimes. Just being out there, you're winning routes and everything, but you're not getting the ball. You're not really feeling like you're contributing to the win. You felt like you contributed to the win against the Rams, but you didn't feel like you contributed against the Cowboys. You made a couple decent plays against the Chiefs. And then, here against the Buccaneers, you were really a non-factor. I'm pretty sure it can get frustrating because you're like, I know what I'm capable of. I know I'm capable of more. I want to contribute more. Lean on me a little more. And it's just not happening.
Well, and maybe, and I say this because I don't know, this is a situation where you go to the quarterback and you go to the offensive coordinator and you have those discussions, like, and watch, and then you watch the film, right? You say, look, I'm open right here. You can point out all these little instances where he's open or he has separation, where Jalen Hurts just for some reason is not throwing the ball. So I think it kind of goes back to that too. And again, maybe he's had those conversations. We don't know. Like, we're just talking about the tweet and the initial, or the X. I mean, it'll always be Twitter to me. So
yep, I agree.
The tweet and the initial aftermath and response to that. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like, this is going to happen. You're going to get that sort of feeling for sure. But again, you're winning. Like, I would just take the win right now. And look, having a conversation about not getting the football is you're more than able to do that, especially with the money he's getting paid and the caliber of receiver he is. But I think, airing that on social media in a sort of a cryptic way that he did, which again, we're all going to take it and run with it because that's what we do as a society. Like, we love our social media. Then maybe kind of keeping it off there and just keeping it at an internal team level is the better way to handle that. But again, I think he has some legitimate beef, though. I'm not going to say he doesn't. There's some legitimate arguments as to why he should be getting the ball more. So, I think it can play both sides of the fence in this scenario. So, yep.
All right, so let's move on here. Sort of an interesting headline. We have Scorigami in a 40-40 tie on Sunday Night Football. The Cowboys and the Packers.
Okay, I'm standing on my soapbox right here. Ties should not exist in football. That was the dumbest ending to a game ever. It was an epic game. Phenomenal watch, but you're telling me I had to stay up till midnight just to see two teams tie. Okay.
You're 100%
I agree. I agree. I will say,
Kirby wanted to add it to the pick'ems to let the record state.
We'll talk about that. We'll address during the pick'em segment.
Okay.
We'll address
I will say, I think if Micah Parsons doesn't make that,
he definitely made the game-saving tackle there on Dak Prescott.
Dallas would have won.
Dallas would have won. Well, they wouldn't have. Would they have won? Wait, when did that tackle happen?
It was in overtime, I think.
Was it in overtime?
I believe so.
If it was in overtime, still Green Bay would have had a chance to respond. I can't remember if it was in overtime That was in the fourth quarter.
It might have been in the
check.
Somebody double check on that play. But yes, either way, Micah Parsons saved that game. Or saved that from being a touchdown, because that would have gotten in. And
yeah, it was OT.
It was OT? Yeah. So the Packers would have still gotten a chance, but he stopped them from needing to score a touchdown.
It was 5:28 in overtime.
Yeah. So I mean, that game was a lot of fun. It was
you know what was hilarious?
Mm-hmm.
Sunday Night Football crew interviewing Jerry Jones and asking him, "What are your feelings as
Micah Parsons is running right by him, and he's wearing like a weird band, and I'm not sure what the hell that thing was that he had."
In post games, Micah's like, "Yeah, I've never heard from Jerry Jones since the trade."
Well, evidently, it came out during the pregame show that Micah, like when the rumblings of the trade were coming out, Micah told his agent to reach out to Jerry Jones to see if they could get a deal done. And Jerry was like, "That time has passed. I'm going to get some decent picks for you now. Like, there's no deal on table." I'm like, so Micah was like, "Dude, like, I don't want to be traded. Like, let's figure this out." And Jerry, because he's got such a fragile ego and he's older than molasses, just couldn't. It's ridiculous all around. And we see how bad that Dallas defense is.
That interview was hilarious with Jerry Jones.
I know numbers.
They always are hilarious. That's the great thing about his interviews.
Well, and another thing too, I think the key, which is very small, the field goal block return for 2 points.
I mean, that ultimately, I mean, think about it. Like that's what, like, I mean, the game ended in a tie, so yeah, like it was huge.
Yeah. So
100%.
It was a fun game. It was a fun game. There should have been a winner. This game should. I don't understand why the NFL has ties. I don't get. I don't understand why they don't implement the college rules. I don't understand why they just don't run 2-point conversion plays for overtime. Like just one play on and off. The the suggestion that Pat McAfee had was the golden boot, basically, where the field goal kicker they keep kicking and kicking until somebody misses, and they keep going back like 10 yards until some point it's like at a 70-yard field goal and somebody has to make it.
Oh, I like that. I actually like that idea. Of course,
that would be pretty fun.
It would be fun because it'd be like it's kind of like penalty kicks in soccer.
Then Dallas would have won because Brandon Aubrey's incredible.
What's his name? Who's the Packers kicker? McManus, yeah. Yeah, he's got a leg on him too.
Yeah, he's not.
So it would have been an interesting matchup had that happened.
Brandon Aubrey's better,
but
yeah.
How about that?
Brandon Aubrey's a beast.
I mean, there's no one better than him right now.
That Bucks kicker, longest outdoor field goal in
until Brendan Aubrey wants that record.
Yeah.
The minute Brendan Aubrey wants that record, he's going to get that record because Brendan Aubrey's an absolute weapon.
Is it just me, or there's longer and longer kicks being made this year?
It's just kickers are better. Kickers are better now than they've ever been. Right now,
some kickers.
I really need to talk to my friend Mark Mosley about all these long kicks. See what he thinks about it.
The distance now that kickers can make is insane.
Well, also the new rule with the kicking ball too. The kicking ball is more like they can use their ball from what they kick normally, like during practice and everything. So like that ball's been beat up to hell that it's just a lot easier to kick for them.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
But like you said, Carlos, there's more misses. But I think
I was more so alluding to Harrison Butker,
Yeah.
We'll talk about him. We'll talk about him in a little bit. Pissing me off.
But yeah, well, you had nothing to be mad about in that game. I don't even want to.
I was mad about him, but we'll talk about it.
That's fair. Yeah, kickers are just off the charts good. It's crazy. In general, across the NFL, it's just amazing what they can line up and kick from and make. That 15. Again, I used this earlier. 15 or 20 years ago, like it was impossible to kick Like, it was hard to kick beyond 55 yards. Now you got guys kicking from close to,
65.
Yep. Yeah, yeah, it's just insane. So, yeah.
All right. Last but not least, short and sweet, Bad Bunny announced Super Bowl halftime show.
He's doing it for the culture, baby. He's doing it for the culture. The NFL knows exactly what they're doing here. Listen, for all the people that are mad about Bad Bunny, you got to understand a couple of things here, okay? The NFL is trying to expand internationally. Who is the biggest international artist in the world right now? You would think it'd be Taylor Swift, but surprisingly, it's not. It is Bad Bunny. He is the most streamed artist in the world.
So good.
And the beautiful thing about it is that his music is all in Spanish, but it's so good that it's worldwide, that you don't even have to understand the lyrics to know that the music's good. He's got some absolute bangers that I'm hoping he plays. Obviously, I can understand if some people aren't, it might not, Spanish music isn't everybody's cup of tea. I understand that. But I'm telling you, it's going to be a great halftime show. He's going to put on an amazing performance. And if you want to see how hyped his mere presence can be, look up his entrance for WWE Backlash in Puerto Rico. I believe it was 3 years ago. 3 years ago. It was right after WrestleMania 39. He had a match against Damian Priest in Puerto Rico. It was a street fight match. His entrance is at one of the greatest entrances you'll ever see. That crowd went bananas for him.
Yep.
I thoroughly love this choice by the NFL. Obviously, we all know that there were talks that Taylor Swift might do it, and then that deal fell apart. There are rumors of Adele. I wouldn't have minded Adele. I wouldn't have.
Adele's really good.
I would have really. Adele's got some bangers.
Oh,
okay,
she's
got some bangers. But this was one that I did not see coming. And when I was watching the halftime show and he showed up and they were zooming out, I was like, why is he on? And then I realized he's on the goalposts and that he's going to be the halftime show. I immediately put in my family group chat, holy crap, Bad Bunny's going to be the halftime show. And my whole family went crazy. We're all excited. Listen, just give it a chance. I promise you, this halftime show is going to be one for the ages. Kendrick Lamar was incredible last year.
That was really good. Hard to follow up.
Bad Bunny's going to be great this year also.
Yeah, the NFL gets it right on a lot of things, and they got it right with Bad Bunny for sure. I mean, like you said, Carlos, he's the biggest artist in the world right now. I think as Carlos said, Carlos said everything. I really don't have to add much, but the NFL wants to increase its international presence. The best way to do that is to get the biggest star in the world as your halftime show. Excuse me. And I think the NFL nailed this. This is a great choice. It's got a lot of great songs. Just great, enjoyable music, man. It's a good time. So looking forward to seeing that halftime show for sure. And maybe the Ravens. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to say that.
No,
maybe the Ravens.
But look, at least I have a reason to watch the Super Bowl if the Chiefs don't make it this year, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, we always watch anyway, right?
Yeah, we do.
We love it.
Well, with that, that's your NFL headlines. Thanks so much for tuning in to the headline segment. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, we get into the matchups featuring our teams and how they did stick right here with us.
Get ready for a brand new fall tradition. It's the first ever Bluegrass and Barbecue, presented by Blue Ridge Agents Insurance, happening Saturday, October 4th, from 12 to 5 p.m. at the Amphitheater at Bowman Library. Picture this, toe tapping a bluegrass all afternoon with live performances from Murphy's Bluegrass Bandits and the Blue Spruce Bluegrass Band. Now add smoky, slow-cooked barbecue from Fizzle's Barbecue, creamy scoops from Uncle Beehive's Ice Cream, plus tasty drinks and snacks from Heavenly Sips and Snacks. And that's not all, local vendors will be set up with unique finds to explore while you eat, sip, and enjoy the music. Admission is completely free, you just pay for what you eat. So grab your family, bring your friends, and join us for the perfect blend of community, music, and fall fun. For more information, visit fcprd.net or check the link in the comments.
For sports fans living in condominium and homeowners associations, as well as business professionals, when you need a reserve study, PM Plus Reserves has been in business since 1990. Their studies are accurate and easy to understand. Check them out when your association needs a study. www.pmplusreserves.com. You can also contact them at 703-803-8436. Once again, www.pmplusreserves.com.
Bedbugs. The only thing creepier than thinking about them is actually having them. Trust me, you don't want to have them. Locally owned and operated Barrett Pest and Termite Services can keep you from having bedbug nightmares and infestations. Call 540-340-3922 to schedule your free inspection and consultation. If bedbugs are already in your home, we'll get rid of them so you can rest easy. We also specialize in keeping homes and businesses free of other pests, including rodents and termites. That's Barrett Pest and Termite Services, 540-340-3922.
Hey there, Kirby on Sports Podcast fans. Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate here for you. Remember, if you have any real estate needs, buying or selling, I'm your guy. I would love to help you out. And you can also find me on my own personal podcast, Iconic Talk, where you get a chance to learn about the local real estate market and why Winchester is an amazing place to live. Reach out to me anytime, 540-247-1527, and find Iconic Talk anywhere you get your podcasts.
So glad you're with us. Episode 230 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. I'm joined by the weapon, Dan Dembski, and the three-time reigning, defending Kirby on Sports PickEm champion, Carlos the Swiss Army Knife Martinez. So glad you're with us. We're now going to be talking about our teams, the matchups, and how our teams did in the order that they were played. Therefore, we start with the Commanders' loss to the Atlanta Falcons. Guys, you know, I'm not going to sugarcoat
Dirty
this.
birds.
Oh, God, here we go.
Dirty birds?
Yeah, that's what the Falcons are called.
No, I didn't know that.
Wow.
Gotta support my
Wow.
birds.
Wow.
Okay, so I'm not
An NFL connoisseur you are, huh?
I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. I was
Oh,
very
yes,
upset I was very upset in the group message. You know that, Carlos.
Oh, I know. You know what? As a matter of fact, this is how much I know. You know what? I have this just for you.
Attention, loyal listeners of the Kirby on Sports podcast. The following segment contains high levels of Kirby brand whining, complaining, and possible overreaction to sports-related events. We'd like to take a moment to apologize, but let's be real. You already know what you signed up for. While we strive to bring you balanced and informative commentary, sometimes the passion overflows. Please enjoy the upcoming segment responsibly. Thank you for your patience and continued support. Kirby's Complaint Corner begins now.
Oh my
Yes,
God,
ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our favorite segment, yours, mine's, America's favorite segment, Kirby's Complaint Corner.
Complaint
Let's go,
Corner.
baby. You're welcome.
Oh, that was beautiful. Once again.
You have to give me a moment. You got any thoughts? What?
I have no thoughts. I'm ready for the host's thoughts.
I mean, this is your team. I honestly could care less.
Oh my
You know,
gosh,
Couldn't care
Behind.
less. Yes.
Carlos, jeez.
You got him crying. Good job, Carlos.
Just so you know, this will be a reoccurring thing. Anytime you start complaining,
good one.
I'm playing this video.
Okay,
It's so good. So good.
well, it came out. Yeah, we know. Okay.
Oh my god!
Literally got tears.
Brother,
Literally
get
tears.
it together.
You just
Okay.
gave him a diagnosis or something. Sheesh.
All right. The Falcons defeated the Washington Commanders 34-27. It just
Did they?
no, the Commanders won. I'm just lying on this podcast. I'm not speaking. Should we play the other PSA about me? Truth in podcasting.
That's all right.
Listen, that super PAC has not gone away. They're keeping a watchful eye. They're keeping a watchful eye.
Right.
Big Brother's always watching, baby. Don't forget.
So,
Carlos and Dan for Truth in Podcasting. Never forget.
There you go. Okay.
Always.
So this game seemed kind of off from the start. Obviously, it didn't help. The Commanders are already riddled with injuries and more injuries out of this game.
Riddled,
my guy. Riddled? That's not a word.
I'm sorry, riddled. So sorry, I think this team with the injuries and the secondary still not playing to what I saw to be acceptable. The Falcons wanted this win more. And I think it's because they got shut out last week. And that's what they did. Marcus Mariota, I think he could have played better, but he was getting pressure from what I saw from Atlanta's defense. Yeah, so but again, it's Marcus Mariota, backup quarterback. Jaden Daniels is hurt. And I like that they held Jaden out. They need to keep him out until he's
already playing. He's officially going to play next week.
Then I assume that he's 100%.
He's out 2 weeks. I think he's fine.
Yeah, but still, I just want to make sure it's 100% in the best interest of the team ownership, making sure they're not rushing.
Okay, but you see, this is where my BS meter's going up. Okay, because you sat here when he got hurt. You sat here and said, if they sit Jaden out, I'm okay with it. And if that means we lose a few games, and I'm okay with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your response to, by the way, losing by a touchdown, you lost by a touchdown, not by 45 points. You didn't get your team didn't get its ass beat. It wasn't belt to ass the way the Ravens got belt to ass. We'll talk about it. Okay. That did not happen to you guys. Okay. But you sat there and acted like the sky was falling. Oh, this team. Oh, poor me. Oh.
He really did.
Be still my heart. You are.
I was overreacting. I'm going to be honest.
No, you don't say. And what did I tell you? I told you, Kirby, if you come on this show and you whine and complain, I use a little more colorful language, but this is a family show. If you come on here and you do that, I will eviscerate you. And what did you say? I will speak my mind, is what you said.
Yeah.
And I said, you've been warned.
Yeah.
Well, you were warned. And now I'm eviscerating you right now. What? So again, truth in podcasting, baby. How can we rely on you when you don't tell the truth? You aren't okay with losing games, even though Jaden Daniels is out. You don't have Terry McLaurin. The lies.
Yeah, I know. I when it comes to Sunday, I just sit there and I want to see the Commanders win, and I just get overly upset. That's all.
You didn't even talk about how terrible the defense is, like especially the secondary.
Marshawn Lattimore should have been traded yesterday.
Yeah, why is Bobby a lot for him right now?
Why is Bobby Wagner?
Bag of peanuts and that's it.
Bobby Wagner. I mean,
come on.
Wagner's old as AF, bro.
I couldn't believe you signed him to begin with. I'm like,
he's chasing down like Bijan at times. I think Bijan and some of their receivers. I'm like, you can't just you can't expect Bobby Wagner, a lineman who's been in this league, might be a Hall of Famer for what he did in Seattle.
You see, once again, correction. Not a lineman. He's a linebacker.
Linebacker.
He should have speed to be able to catch these guys. The problem is he's old.
He's old.
Yeah,
he's
old. I know.
Yep.
I know. He's got Von Miller on this team.
He was not mentioned once. Von Miller was not mentioned once.
Color me surprised. His
That's
brightest
he's
moment
getting
was
oxygen on the sideline.
His brightest moment was 10 years ago when he won Super Bowl MVP. It's
I'm
been
not,
10
I'm not
years.
disagreeing. I'm just saying.
Yep.
I think this just shows that while it was great initially to have all these old heads come in, you need youth and speed on this defense.
Yeah, it's not working.
Speed is everything on defense. Yeah,
Speed kills, baby.
Hey, at least they signed Robbie Chosen today.
Who?
I don't know who that is.
Old Robbie Anderson. He changed his name to Robbie Chosen.
I still don't know who that is.
Really?
He's still in the NFL. He's still in the NFL. Really?
Yeah, I'm surprised. They signed him to the practice squad.
Oh, it's a practice squad signing. Why does that matter?
Still, they might elevate him if there are more injuries, but I'm like, okay, whatever. So, yeah, I mean, other than that, the Commanders, they're just injured. Hopefully,
they're banged up, Kirby. They're banged up.
Hopefully,
they're gonna have some tough losses this year.
You guys have a really hard schedule as it is.
I agree.
And again, you had no Jaden Daniels, you had no Scary Terry, and you guys only lost by 7.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah,
this is a game. You take the film. You don't destroy it because it's not like it's
It wasn't terrible. Like it wasn't a bad performance. Like it was still a game.
You learn from it and you move on quickly. That's the kind of game this was. This is not a game you keep in the back of your mind. It was also a regular season meaningless game. So.
I mean, look, when we put belt to ass on you on Monday night in a few weeks, like then you can come on here and complain. But until then, you guys put on a decent performance with the backup quarterback.
Yeah,
it wasn't that bad.
You guys are 1-1 without Jaden Daniels right now. Like, chill out.
Dude, a lot of teams have way worse backups. I don't like.
Yeah, Dan's got Cooper Rush.
Yeah, who we gave a good amount for a backup.
Listen, he was good in Dallas, but he wasn't. I don't know how he's gonna. Baltimore's not built for him to be the backup.
In closing, I just hope that the injuries are handled the right way. Getting these people back to 100%. Obviously, we have there are some players that are out for the season, and I hope ownership and the coaching staff makes the best informative decision, which I think they will do, in order to find the best next man up for the position. So, like you said, I overreacted a little bit, a lot of a bit.
Okay, there we go.
A lot of a bit. The Commanders fall to the Falcons. Next week, they got the Chargers. So we'll see.
The Chargers in LA.
Yeah, tough place to go.
Yeah, they're going to be pissed. Well, no, I mean, the Chargers are dealing with a lot of injuries. So they're dealing with a lot of injuries themselves. So that game is not out of reach for you guys.
So shall we talk about the Dan and Carlos Bowl and how
you mean the 3-man booth Civil War? Part 1?
Oh yeah.
Because part 2 is a little later on.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, we do this. We've done this. What? How many years have we done this running? 5 years. 5 years. Kansas City.
5. Yeah.
Baltimore's played each other. Well, are you going to introduce the game or not, Kirby?
So, this was the 4 o'clock.
I didn't know I was hosting this week again.
No, the 4 o'clock slate. The Chiefs defeating the Baltimore Ravens 37-20. The big storyline in this matchup: Lamar Jackson 1-6 versus the Kansas City Chiefs, and he goes out late with a hamstring injury. Not sure what his status is, but it looks
we made Lamar Jackson quit, baby. I'm kidding. It was a legitimate injury, but that's the running joke in Chiefs Kingdom right now.
Yeah, as soon as he was on the sidelines, that started quickly. But yeah, he's out. I think he's out 2 to 3 weeks from what I saw potentially. So not great, Bob. Not great. Because without him, we certainly have. I mean, we don't have much of a chance to win now, but without him, it's certainly going to make things harder. But sorry, go ahead if you're going to continue to introduce the game or whatever.
Yeah, Carlos, I would imagine you were very excited about the Chiefs' performance and what they were able to do.
Man.
I will say our thoughts and prayers to Chris Jones's aunt and how he got there 30 minutes before the game is incredible.
Yeah, well, police escorts are magical. And obviously our Chiefs Kingdom's fully behind Chris Jones, and obviously it's very sad.
Great player, tough to see.
Crazy that he was able to pull that off, going to Mississippi for the funeral and then getting back in time for the game. Missed all the warm-ups and still made it out in time and had a pretty good game.
He certainly did. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So yeah, of course, yeah. T's and P's to Chris Jones and his family. Look, man, that was the win the Kansas City Chiefs needed desperately. We needed a win like that. We haven't had a win like that in forever. Patrick Mahomes hasn't had a 4-touchdown game since October of 2023. Some people are saying October, some people are saying September. Mostly I've heard October, so I'm going with October.
I can go back and look if you want me. It might take a while though.
I mean,
anyway, we'll believe the internet.
It was weird in the second half. I was literally like laying back on my couch and I was like, this is weird to be like relaxed right now, because we haven't had a win like this in a long time where the Chiefs by the fourth quarter, like it's wrapped up. We know we won the game, and it was a weird feeling to have, because it's normally very stressful at the end as a Chiefs fan. But look, I think it's really this really shut the doubters up, and that's all I've seen so far on all the various sports shows and such, that now the tune is changing. It was after week 1, the Chiefs dynasty is done. After week 2, this team isn't good enough. Week 3, they looked horrible in the first half and they found it in the second half, but I don't think they're good enough to beat the Ravens. The Ravens were away favorites. They were 2.5 point favorites over the Chiefs. But did anybody think to look at the Ravens injury report going into the game?
Nope.
It was, look, my heart goes, I love Ravens flock. I love the Ravens organization. I love going to Ravens games. I do.
Oh yeah. It's a fun atmosphere.
It's a great time. My heart goes out to them. But this was an absolute embarrassing loss for them when they desperately needed a win. And I don't know. It's just the narrative on Lamar Jackson not being able to win the big games is just getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Look, I think Spags just has his number. I think Spags is just it just is what it is. It's just clear as day. I mean, when you're 1-6 against the Chiefs, and a majority of those games were up against Spags, and you haven't really beaten Spags except the one time where the Chiefs were on their way to winning that game, and had Clyde Edwards-Helaire not fumbled, the Ravens would have lost that game. But yeah, I mean, after that first drive by the Ravens, it was all Chiefs from there. I mean, the Chiefs didn't punt until the fourth quarter. Like, think about that. They scored on essentially every drive aside from the one before halftime. Which had me a little concerned, because I was like, oh no, I think we just gave Baltimore a little more like juice there by not scoring and like kind of putting this away. But it was so good seeing how much this offense changed by just getting Xavier Worthy back. And again, knowing that we're going to get Rashee Rice back in a couple weeks. Dude, Kansas City is going to be, I mean, guys, we're not dead. We're not dead. And it's so satisfying seeing those people that like thought we were dead, like have to eat crow, knowing that like, oh, this Chiefs team is they're actually going to be fighting. It's actually still them. It's still them in Buffalo right now. And I mean, how could you tell me that Baltimore is going to be 1-3 with 4 minutes to go in that Buffalo game? It's tough. Obviously, I hate to see this for Lamar, but at the same time, like, I love to see it for my team. It brings me, like, it's always mixed emotions during this game, because I do have a lot of respect and love for the Ravens, but I also love beating the Ravens, if you get what I mean.
No, 100%. No, this was about as brutal of a game as the Ravens have had that I can recall.
Since what, the AFC Championship game?
Yeah,
I think that was the last time he felt this dejected.
Yeah, but that game was, well, I guess the scoreboard, it was closer on the scoreboard, but it didn't seem close. There was a late touchdown, but yeah, this everything went wrong in this game. Like all of the issues that we talked about last week with this team against the Lions just reared their ugly head, and if anything, they got no better. Defensively, they had no answers for the passing game. They played a lot of man coverage in this game, a lot of one-on-one matchups with the Chiefs receivers, and the problem is, I mean, you're going to need speed, and you're going to need speed to keep up with these receivers, and just, I guess, Travis Kelce for that matter too. We need size and speed, which is something the Ravens really couldn't match up with, and really no team can match up with when it comes to Travis Kelce, who had a pretty good game in the few catches he had. They couldn't match up well defensively, so they had guys getting open. Mahomes had all day to throw, and I think, again, this goes back to an issue we talked about last week. The Ravens have no pass rush, and
it didn't get any better.
With the
news.
I've seen a Ravens defense that had zero pass rush in multiple games in a row. I can't ever remember a time in my life where that's been the case. This has been a team that, you know, was established on their identity of their defense, their pass rush,
come on, Chris Collinsworth.
Now here's a guy.
Come on, Chris.
Also a team that historically has also been just built generally on their defense, and that has been perhaps the most disappointing thing about this team thus far this year.
But you do have to factor in.
They have a lot of injuries.
They have a lot. 6 of the 11 starters were gone.
6 of the 11 starters. Right.
7 now.
That's huge. And that's huge. Yes, and that's huge.
And your biggest pass rusher might not even be able to play ever again.
Yeah, he's probably a career-ending injury. Anytime it's a neck injury.
And they don't know what's going on. It's usually not good news.
Yeah, and he's 28, I think, around that age. So it certainly doesn't look good. I'll agree with that. But man, this just the culmination of everything we talked about last week, just rearing its ugly head again. I feel like I don't even have to say any of this again because it just continues.
No, because it literally was the same game plan that Detroit ran. It's just the Chiefs did it even better.
The Chiefs did it better.
Nick Bolton, exactly. Which, by the way, boys, this is the first week that I wore my Bolton jersey, and then he has a monster game. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to be wearing the Bolton jersey for the rest of the season. But yeah, Nick Bolton had a monster game. I mean, the Chiefs secondary absolutely shut down the Ravens, passing game. DeAndre Hopkins had like one catch that was taken away because of the penalty. And that was it. That's all we ever heard from him. I mean, Derrick Henry was a non-factor. It's crazy.
Yeah, and they have 2 offensive line starters that were out. So again, you have to factor that in as well. And the constant pressure by Kansas City's defense. And again, Carlos alluded to this at the top. Spags has a way of dialing up these blitzes that they just sometimes they come out of nowhere. Sometimes it's obvious they're going to blitz, and it seemed to not matter whether he was disguising the blitz or not. They were getting pressure on Lamar consistently, and I would love to see the drop back rate versus the pressure, because I would say 70% of his dropbacks in my mind anyway, he was under pressure. So, he had limited time to throw. I think the problem with this game as well is Lamar doesn't take off and run anymore like he used to. He just doesn't. It's as simple as that. He's trying to make plays out of the pocket, and pocket. What am I from Pittsburgh?
Now here's a
guy.
No, that wasn't Chris Collinsworth.
that was like Bill Cowher or something.
Yeah.
So usually, that's pretty good actually. Usually, he would just take off, right, and he would be able to make a few guys miss.
Dude, that's always my fear when we play Lamar, because last season, the opener, he did it so many times where he would just go, and the defense would just lose him and be like. But I think another thing that happened was the Detroit game kind of messed with his psyche, where they were using the spy, and then the spy would eventually blitz. We were doing the same thing. That was what Bolton was primarily doing. He was spying him, and then at some point he would just come in. So it was hard for Lamar to just take off and go, because he knew, hey, I got this guy waiting for me. I can't really get around him. And the Chiefs did a great job of containing Lamar Jackson. Yeah. And granted, again, it's because the offensive line just didn't play very well. And once again, 2 major injuries to the offensive line. It was just a recipe for disaster for the Ravens coming into this game.
Well, and again, if you're not able to run the ball, then which the Ravens again weren't, they tried, and again, I think they abandoned the run a little early in this game. We can discuss whether or not that was the case, but then it's all on Lamar Jackson to be Superman again, and this is just something you can't expect him to continue to be able to do. We've seen it a lot of times, right, where he's been able to become.
Well, he can't expect him to do it here against the Chiefs because the Chiefs just know they're too good, they're too disciplined, they're not going to make the mistakes that
they have a ton of tape on.
They've played 7 total games against each other in Lamar Jackson's career, and only 1 win. And again, in that 1 win, the Chiefs don't mess up themselves. They don't give Lamar that opportunity to win.
Sure.
I mean, look, it's tough because I really do love Lamar, but you really do have to start to question, does he have what it takes to win these big games? He had a huge lead against, and again, I don't necessarily blame Lamar for the loss to the Bills earlier this year.
No, I think that was
because I think he did everything he could, but this one he single. I mean, he fumbled and he threw that interception.
2 scores. Yeah. Which both resulted in points. So, direct result of that. So, he was bad in this game. He was pretty bad. But again, I think you can't just look at his performance and say, can he win? I mean, I don't think you could put any quarterback under that offensive line going up against that defense and expect them to win. It's simple as that. Now, maybe you would have guys that have a better performance, but this was just bad. It was bad.
I mean, I think it's more so the question of, again, he has lost a lot of these games against Josh Allen, against Patrick Mahomes, against, I don't necessarily know his record against Burrow per se. But
I think he has Burrow's. I think he actually has.
I think he actually beats Burrow more.
Frequently, yeah.
But again, he's top 3, and the 2 guys above him generally, or it's always between him and Josh Allen fighting for number 2. Patrick Mahomes is usually number 1, and
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, and obviously, if you're just going season by season,
Allen can't beat Mahomes either. But
I agree, and and we hold him up, and he gets held accountable for that.
Yeah.
Right. Anytime anybody talks about Buffalo, it's always okay, but he beats Mahomes in the regular season, but he can never beat him in the playoffs. And that's another thing you have to consider. Kansas City's been the boogeyman for a lot of teams, right? There's a reason why Allen doesn't have a ring and Lamar doesn't have a ring, and it's because Patrick Mahomes exists. But you do have to look at Lamar's record in big games, against top tier opponents in the playoffs. It's gone horribly wrong sometimes in regular season games. Sometimes he shows up and it's lights out and it's great football, and then sometimes it's games like this where he just doesn't have it. I don't know. I love Lamar. I want him to succeed. But I do also think this is a coaching issue too. I think we haven't put enough blame on Harbaugh. Also,
I was about to touch on that. I think this game, and again, John Harbaugh being outcoached is something we've talked about over and over and over again on this podcast, especially in the playoffs. But at times in the regular season as well, this is another example of just being outclassed and outcoached by the opponent. And really, it looked like the Ravens just they weren't playing the same game that the Chiefs were playing. It was just the
opening drive was beautiful. That was beautiful. I got so nervous after that drive because I was like, I sat there and I said, that was too easy. That was way too easy for them. I'm nervous. And then the Chiefs just clamped it down from there. And that's the thing. Spags is so good at adjusting in real time. That first 15, he's using that to gather information to see what you can do, and then he's going to adjust. Harbaugh did not do that. Harbaugh did not.
He usually does not adjust.
But what does Harbaugh actually do? Because he's not calling plays. Like he's not the offensive coordinator or the defensive coordinator. So it's like, what is Harbaugh actually bringing to the table here?
He's more of a consultant. I guess he's a vibe.
He's just a
type of guy.
CEO. That's what he is. He's just taking credit for the group project.
That's a great question. I think a lot of people, a lot of Ravens fans especially, ask that question, right? And they question, why is he calling challenge? Now, he didn't do that really in this game, but why is he throwing the challenge flag at these random times of the game? Why is he using timeouts at these? I mean, the Ravens had what, two delay of games on one drive in this game. That's something that's on coaching.
That can't happen. That can't happen.
That's on the quarterback as well, but it's also on the coaching to get the play in. It's on the coaching to get things, where they need to be, and then the quarterback, of course, ultimately has to make that decision to snap the ball. But that can't happen. It in week 4 of the regular season, that can't happen. That's a preseason or a week 1 penalty. That if it happens more than once, but it's I think personally a change has to be made, and I think also that Lamar Jackson won't flourish as a quarterback to the next level that he needs to get to, or take that next step with John Harbaugh as head coach. I just don't see it.
I'm 100% with you. I think this is a true statement. I think you're right.
It's like we talked about 2 years ago, Carlos. This team had everything they could ask. The number 1 seed. They had
home field,
ago, right?
Yeah, it was 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
They had everything forward. And if you think about the Ravens that season, if you think about Harbaugh's coaching, it was the go for it mentality, right? If it was 4th and 4 or shorter, the Ravens were going to go for it.
Basically, the Lions mentality, the way the Lions go for it all the time. The Ravens used to do that so much.
Right. Especially that season. I think really that season was the only one I can remember that they did it consistently. But my whole point is that fire that they had back then it died with their loss in the playoffs in those playoffs. And I really think they've never recovered from that. So, I think I'm ready for a change. I just think John Harbaugh impedes things. I think he doesn't make things easier for this team. I also think maybe part of it is that he's kind of an old school coach in that. And I think at one point Ray Lewis talked about this when John Harbaugh first got to Baltimore.
It was Ed Reed. It was Ed Reed.
It was Ed Reed. Yeah, he said that, he was trying to be this tough guy, this old school type of coach mentality, and they just kind of laughed at him and were like, we've been here, we know what we're doing, just let us do our thing. And then eventually, of course, he trusted the defense, he trusted the guys to lead the team, and boom, they won a Super Bowl. And the rest is history, of course, because that was 13 years ago. And
he's been riding that Super Bowl for years.
It's time. It's time. I think there's a life cycle with every coach who's been in the NFL. We saw it with the great ones. We saw it with Bill Belichick. Obviously, I think his went on maybe a little too long, but that's another story.
But granted, but with Bill Belichick, it's because he won 6 Super Bowls and he lost a few,
and he lost his
he just lost his touch,
his generational player as well. But I think there comes a time when you have to say, what's our ceiling with this coach? And I think we've seen it, right? The AFC Championship game, getting to the AFC Championship game is the ceiling. Since the Super Bowl win, and they've never looked prepared mentally or physically in those games. And again, that goes back on coaching, and that really reflects on the entire team. The defense, of course, we know that we talked about the defense's issues already. We've talked about it all season because it's something that has popped up continuously. But that rubs off on the whole team, and you can see it. You can see the offense struggle. You can see the defense, even with their injury, struggle. And I also think that, maybe Zach Orr isn't the guy, defensive coordinator.
I don't think he is. I think he's. I think you said it best last year. He's out of his depth.
He's out of his element. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you have to make a big change. I think it has to happen.
I agree. So here's a crazy stat. It seems like every 10 years, the Ravens have a season from hell. 2005, they finished the season 6-10.
Yep.
You scroll down to 2015, they finished 5-11. And now, so far, 10 years later, they are 1-3 so far with a lot of injuries. They are the top candidate right now for having a season from hell right now because they're going into a game against Houston. Yep. You got Houston next week. Then I think you have it's Houston next week. gosh, I can't remember the Ravens schedule right now.
I got it. Hold on. Give me a quick sec. I can pull that up.
I know it's Houston next week.
And the common denominator in all those seasons was injuries. Like you talk about 2015, I think they had 15 to 20 guys on IR that year, including Joe Flacco, who of course was, he's Joe Flacco, but he's their quarterback at the time, and that was a season from hell. Yeah, they have Houston, and then they host
Rams.
The Rams, and then they host
and then
Bears.
they have a bye week, and then they have the Bears. So my thing is if Lamar's probably not playing these next 2 games.
He's out for two weeks. Yeah, probably.
And then they got the bye week, so that gives him a week to get back. So he's not gonna be the Bears. Are you guys really about to go into the bye week at 1-5? Like, that's insane. How do you get out of that hole? Like, you can basically kiss the division goodbye, because right now Pittsburgh is sitting pretty at, what are they? 4-1, 3-1 currently.
3-1 right now. Yeah.
Yeah. 3-1.
I think frankly they can kiss it goodbye now, but that's just the pessimism.
Well, we don't know. You just never know with Aaron Rodgers. It's Aaron Rodgers we're talking about here. He could epically collapse.
And let's not forget Pittsburgh last year, right? They were sitting pretty there for a while,
and then they had an absolute collapse at the end. Yep,
6 or 7 games at the end.
So it's not to say that there's not a possibility, right? Because let's see, after that, let's see. So after the bye week, it's the Bears. I think you guys can win that. The Dolphins, you guys can win that. The Vikings will be an interesting matchup. Cleveland, you should win that. New York, you should win that. Both games against the Bengals, you should win that. It'll be competitive against the Steelers. You should be able to beat the Patriots, and the Packers will be a battle. So yeah, sure, maybe you go into the bye week 1-5, but that's not to say that once you guys start getting more guys back as the season goes on and Lamar comes back, that you guys can't go on this epic run and somehow win the division and finish 11-6, 12-5.
Well, and I think the key too with the injuries to the offensive line is we're really going to have to lean on running the football more than we did before, and that's going to go back to scheming. How are you going to scheme to get Derrick Henry the football and get him in space? Because they have failed to do that the last couple of weeks, and that's a big reason why, again, all the weight has been on Lamar's back, and he's, as most quarterbacks would, crumbled under that weight. So it's been a whole catastrophe so far to this season of a team that was a Super Bowl pick for a lot of
Super Bowl or bust, baby. Bob, that's what they were.
And right now it's looking like bust. And it's gonna take some luck to come their way, I think.
Look,
make the postseason.
There's
a wild card. There's a wild card.
Yeah, the wild card exists.
It's still possible.
We've seen teams that we didn't think were going to be any good win the Super Bowl. We saw the Giants do it in 2007, where they surprised the 16-0 New England Patriots. It's not to say that they can't somehow find a way to start playing their best. And we saw this last year.
They got to get healthy. They got
to get healthy. But we saw this last year. They had a lot of struggles defensively to start the year, and then they figured it out towards the second half. You guys don't have Kyle Van Noy. You guys have lost a lot of, again, 6 out of 11 starters on the defense going into the game, 7 now because Wiggins got hurt. Oh, and Agent Zero is hurt also. So there's a lot. There's a lot that needs to be figured out there in Baltimore, but I think it's mostly injuries. It might just be a year from hell. They might just not have a good season this year, and it is what it is.
Just reset and go into next.
But I mean, to turn it back to the to the winners of the game, the Chiefs. Yeah, I mean, look, everything's in front of them now. They got 2 more games before Rashid comes back, which are against the Jaguars on Monday night, and then the Lions. So 2 tough. The Jaguars might not be as tough. We'll see. The Lions game is going to be very tough because they figured they figured out themselves out. So that might be a possible Super Bowl matchup. Then you got the Raiders. Then we have our next round of the 3-man booth civil war between me and Kirby on Monday night. Where we're putting belt to ass, baby. Belt to ass. And then, of course, we played the Buffalo Bills, and then we go on the bye week, which we're probably going to lose to the Bills because we always lose to the Bills in the regular season. And then after that, it's smooth sailing. You got the Broncos, Colts. I mean, those are going to be 2 interesting games. The Cowboys is going to be a very interesting game on Thanksgiving. That's going to be very interesting.
The fact that so many people were like, oh, could the Broncos win the AFC West this year over the Chiefs? I'm like, even I thought that was nonsense. And I think
It's
we can go back and watch.
it's just you're putting a lot on Bo Nix. Like you're really putting a lot on Bo Nix.
I agree.
Quarterback, yeah.
You know, a guy who's on Mac Jones watch. Like I was never fully locked in on Bo Nix. I wasn't a believer in that. Yeah, then we got Texans, Chargers, Titans, Broncos, Raiders. Like, dude, like we're probably going to win the AFC West. It's all in front of us now. Again, we're going to get Rashee Rice back. Obviously, hopefully we don't suffer any major injuries or anything like that.
So
but
far, so good.
I mean, we need a freaking running back because I still don't trust in Pacheco and Kareem Hunt. I do like the kid the other kid, number 24, but he's more in a passing role, more so than a running role.
Good. He's good.
He's got some juice on him, but yeah, look, this was a great win by the Chiefs. It really was a vintage Chiefs win, and it really showed that, hey, this, by all accounts, this is what the offense was going to look like in Brazil had Xavier Worthy not gotten hurt on the third play of the game. This is what it was going to look like. It looks good. It looks great. Tyquan Thornton with another touchdown. It was his only catch of the day, but it still shows like, hey, we have another weapon that stepped up while these guys were out. Hopefully nothing major happens to Xavier Worthy because he's still playing with a torn labrum, and one wrong hit, he could knock him out for the season. But like I said, Rashee Rice is coming back, and then we'll get to see the full power of the dark side. You did not experience the full power of the dark side, Dan, but Kirby will. Kirby will experience the full power of the dark side.
Oh,
I think I'll experience the full power of the dark side. That's for sure.
That was a very enthusiastic response.
Yeah,
we'll work on it.
But you both said it perfectly. I have nothing else to add.
We know. Thank you. Sorry,
Yeah.
I was doing my Carlos impression. Was it good?
Because
Yeah.
It was.
could have used a little more
I'll work on
oomph.
Yeah, so that's the final
I
as
need
the
more graphics.
that's the final as the Chiefs defeated the Ravens 37-20. The best segment of the afternoon, evening, whenever you are tuning into this podcast.
Morning.
The Kirby on Sports PickEm. That comes your way next. Stick right here with us. Is it finally time to upgrade your home's interior? How about with an authentic farm table made locally from recycled barnwood? Shenandoah Primitives, based right here in Winchester, Virginia, makes farm tables, benches, tables, coffee tables, and a long list of other items for your home decorating needs. At Shenandoah Primitives, function and style are combined for great furniture that will last generations. If you're interested in combining the industrial look of metal with wood, or considering something incredibly unique with a live edge, Shenandoah Primitives turns those ideas into reality. Thinking about a mirror, wine rack, or other accent piece for your home, Shenandoah Primitives can assist with that as well. As a local small business, Shenandoah Primitives is happy to work with each client for a custom design or schedule an appointment to come out and view current inventory. Local, high-quality, handmade items can be found at Shenandoah Primitives. Find us on Facebook and Instagram, or visit us at www.shenandoahprimitives.com.
It's Jason, General Manager at Shenandoah Music, here to tell you all about... Jay, what are you doing here? Well, Matt, I'm trying to tell the people about our selection of guitars, basses, keyboards, drum sets.
I know that, but I always do the radio spots.
You get to have all the fun. I want to tell everyone about our huge selection, unbeatable prices, unmatched service, and in-depth knowledge.
Jay, I really don't think now is the time to discuss.
So remember, folks, when you think music, think Shenandoah Music in Winchester.
That's my line.
The Cider House is now open on East Piccadilly Street in downtown Winchester. The Cider House is open starting at noon Wednesday to Sunday. Stop in for a wide variety of ciders on draft, as well as 4 Virginia beers, wine, and ready-to-drink canned cocktails. Don't miss our lunch specials featuring our house salad. We also have dinner specials too. Stop in today at the Cider House, located on Piccadilly Street in downtown Winchester.
Fall is here, and Nulook Landscaping has everything your home needs to look its best. Brighten your yard with colorful mums available now. And don't forget, Nulook offers professional power washing to give your home a fresh, clean look. Call Nulook Landscaping today at 540-327-1244 or email them 2025.nulook@gmail.com. Are you looking to take the final steps in order to get your driver's license? Look no further. On the Road Driving School offers teen and adult driving, along with classroom sessions for teens and adults, DMV re-exam classes, and driver improvement classes. On the Road Driving School has what you need in order to get on the road. Contact them today at 540-869-6105. That's On the Road Driving School. 540-869-6105. On the Road Driving School will get you on the road. It's the best segment of the Kirby on Sports podcast, the Kirby on Sports PickEm. So glad you're with us. I'm joined by the weapon, Dan Dembski, and the three-time reigning, defending Kirby on Sports PickEm champion.
Throw undisputed in there, and we're good.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot I knew I forgot something there. I'm so sorry.
Because it's undisputed that I'm still your three-time PickEm's champion.
He's got the belt.
Surprised we hadn't seen the belt at this point, but
well, I bring it out during the actual segment.
Without further ado, let's bring up the picks for this week.
Yeah, not a lot of variation. It's getting interesting. Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to America's favorite segment from this, pretty good to average podcast, the Kirby on Sports PickEms. We had some controversy this weekend. Obviously, we picked the Cowboys and Packers game where we all picked the Packers, but it ended in a tie. So controversy within the ranks as we did not know what to do. Kirby wanted me to add the tie to the record. I told him hell no, and I will say it one more time, because if I have to repeat myself, I'm going to blow a gasket. Ties don't belong in football, and ties don't belong in my pick'ems. As your three-time 968-day reign champion.
I was wondering.
Well,
hold on. Something's not right here. There we go. Now it's correct. There's the way it should be.
Well, listen, with absolutely no disrespect, the only reason why...
my God, here we go.
No, I'm just saying, if the NFL currently has ties, I was like, why don't we just factor
Because
in
we
ties?
are not idiots like the NFL. We like the sanctity and purity.
That's just my reasoning. That's all.
Well, this is why
I understand we came to a consensus, and we're moving
Did
on.
we come to a consensus? Because technically, we did actually come to a consensus.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, he did agree. He was like, I'm just asking the question, but why can't we do this? Because I agree we shouldn't count it, but why can't we do it? So we did come to a consensus.
Yeah. You gave us two choices, and yeah.
So anyways, continuing on. So if you're wondering why our number is now an odd number instead of an even number, considering we pick 6 games a week, that's why. The tie did not count towards our record at all, because we technically didn't win or lose. So it's not going to go to anything. And like I said, we're not doing ties, because how do you really count ties towards an overall record? Should we come to a situation where, anyways.
It's tiebreakers with the tie, and you have to incorporate it. Yeah, it's a whole,
it would just get too complicated. Let's just keep it the way it is. And also, it would make the graphic look absolutely goofy. So, with that being said, here are the current standings. Kirby is in first place still at 16-7. Dan and I are tied for second/last place at 14-9. So Kirby still holding a 2-game lead, which good on Kirby. He's doing great, but he's not expanding his lead. So nervous times for him, I imagine, because right, as you can see by the picks on the screen, if you're watching online,
you
there's
can
not a
only
lot
pick
of
up one
variation.
game. Yeah, you can pick up one game.
Yeah.
Carlos.
So
both of us.
the games we'll be picking this week are Kansas City against Jacksonville, Seattle against Tampa Bay, and if you can tell by the graphic, they are going throwbacks. So I put the throwback helmets on the graphic. It's beautiful.
I love it.
So Seattle, Tampa Bay, Denver, Philadelphia, the Giants against the Saints. The only reason why I put that is because there was really no other good games. And I was like, oh, it's two terrible teams. This will be fun to pick. The Raiders against the Colts. I don't know why I keep putting the Raiders on here. The Raiders aren't good, but again, I couldn't figure out any other games, so I put them on. And then, of course, we're doing San Francisco against the Los Angeles Rams. I will go for first, as alwaase, because I am, of course, your three-time 968-day Pick'ems champion.
There it is.
I will be taking the Kansas City Chiefs over the Jacksonville Jaguars, as I'm contractually obligated to. I believe we've had the Chiefs on the Pick'ems all 5 weeks so far.
Yep.
I want to say, yeah. Well, they've been playing. They play a lot of high-profile games, so it's kind of hard not to put them on the ground. The Pick'ems.
Eventually, they won't be, but
eventually, maybe. Who knows? We'll see. They play a lot of great opponents. I will be taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers over the Seattle Seahawks. This one I was kind of very back and forth on, but I think Tampa Bay's got a really bad taste in their mouth from that loss to Philly, and they're going to let it out on Seattle. I will take the Eagles over the Broncos. I think the Eagles are just a better team, and I just can't pick against them until they lose. I will be the sole person taking the New Orleans Saints over the New York Giants. New Orleans, I believe, will win this game because they actually have the better weapons, and they actually played very well against the Buffalo Bills. That score does not accurately show how close that game was for a majority of it. And with New York losing Malik Nabers, and it's his Jackson Dart second start, I just think New Orleans has all the advantages here to finally win a game this season. I will take the Colts over the Raiders. The Colts, despite losing to the Rams, still look phenomenal. And I really like what I'm seeing from Daniel Jones. I think he's been playing very well. And honestly, the Raiders Geno just doesn't have it, man. It's not great. And then I would take the Rams over the 49ers. The 49ers are super banged up, and the Rams just look so good. They really do. That ending against the Colts was bananas. So with that being said, I will now throw it to this podcast's favorite number 2, my esteemed co-host, the Josh Allen to my Patrick Mahomes, and the time OG Pick'ems champion.
That's right. Thank you, Carlos. Never got a belt, but thank you very much. That was before we had the money for those, I think.
I mean, I always had one, but it was for me.
Right, but you weren't going to give it up, and I don't blame you.
No, and I did suggest that we create one specifically for this that we could pass around, but we never followed through on it.
Well, if you're gonna be the only one that wins, what's the point?
I mean, I already have 3 belts, and I'm thinking about buying a 4th, but that remains to be seen.
Man, that'd be crazy. But anyway, I will start off by picking the Kansas City Chiefs over the Jags. I think this is the point, and I think Carlos is right, where the Chiefs have it all in front of them, like Carlos said earlier. And I think they're going to really start to get on a roll here and look like the Chiefs always have when they get hot like this. So I think it starts with what obviously started against the Ravens, but I think it continues in this game against the Jags. I will pick the Tampa Bay Bucks over the Seattle Seahawks. Now, Seattle at home for this are the home teams on the left, or Carlos?
I didn't put it that way this week also.
Carlos.
Yeah, but the game is in Seattle.
In Seattle. Okay, great.
So technically, yes, I did do it correctly on this one.
Cool. Yeah, this is going to be a tough environment for sure for Tampa to go into, but I think as Carlos alluded to, and I think just in general, there's something special about this team, this Tampa team. They seem to play with a fire in their belly, and then obviously the way that game And then against the Eagles, just a very tough loss, very tough taste in their mouth, as Carlos mentioned. And I think Seattle, to me, there's still a lot of questions for me as to their longevity. So I think Seattle's got a great defense, obviously, with a head coach with that background. But tough environment, tough place for Tampa to go and win. But I think Baker Mayfield gets the job done, and this is another big win for him in his NFL career. So give me the Bucs. I will take the Eagles over the Broncos. To me, this is a situation of just the Eagles are simply the better team right now. I really don't have any other justification. I think the Broncos have not lived up to the hype and the expectations that I think a lot of people set for them to this point. And I think it's going to be tough for them to overcome the tough matchup in this one. So give me the Eagles. I will take the Giants over the Saints. I think Jackson Dart is a decent quarterback, and I think they're able to handle the Saints in this game pretty handily. I do think not handily. I think this game is going to be really close. As Carlos alluded to, the Saints played great against the Bills. Pretty scrappy team, a team that really I think a lot of people figured had no chance in that game. But I think the Giants will win out. I think Brian Daboll will live to see another week as a result as he continues his NFL coaching career. For right or for wrong, I will take the Giants. And then this is one I think we all agree with. I will take the Colts over the Raiders. Colts are just the better team. The Raiders are kind of a mess right now, and I think Daniel Jones continues to play at a high level, and the Colts are able to keep it rolling. And then last but not least, I will take the Rams over the 49ers. Carlos said it already. I mean, the Niners have a ton of injuries. I think the Rams are starting to peak at the right time right now. They're really starting to put it all together. And and Matt Stafford is really, really hot right now throwing the football. So I think that continues, and I think the Rams get the dub. So with that, I will throw it to the host, CEO of this podcast. You can tell I'm tired. Cream cheese, Josh Kirby. Over to you, buddy.
I haven't heard that one in a while.
Oh, we brought it up last week.
Oh, you did?
You weren't here.
We did.
We brought it up though.
Well,
Shows that. Thanks for listening to your own show, by the way.
No, I listened to bits and pieces.
But thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to the entire show.
All right. So my pick. Wow. Whoa. Yeah, me and Dan picked the same picks.
We have the same picks.
All right.
Just same as me, and then continue.
I'm picking the Kansas City Chiefs, just like Dan and Carlos. I think the Chiefs just have more weapons in this game. I don't think Jacksonville can keep up with what Kansas City has. So I'll pick the Chiefs there. It's going to be a tough environment, that is for sure. I feel this next game is going to be a very close and competitive contest. I'm picking the Buccaneers. They have firepower, and I think Baker and the Bucs want to get the bad taste out of their mouth after losing to the Eagles. I'll pick the Eagles. I think they're just the better team in this situation, like you all alluded to previously, better than the Broncos, and I think they get the win. I think Jackson Dart looked pretty good in his opener against New York. I'm going to pick New York. I think they
played New York? The Giants played New York.
No, against Los Angeles.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
See, it's been a long day for me too. Sorry, Carlos. So I think Jackson Dart and the Giants have a little bit of spark from this win against the Chargers. I could be completely wrong, but I think I think there's a spark there that they can take into this week against the Saints. And the Saints, I mean, although playing tough against the Bills, they're winless. But I think they're going to give it another fight. This could be another close game. Colts, obviously the better team against the Las Vegas Raiders, who have a lot of questions that need to be answered. And some questions in San Francisco. I'm going to pick the explosive LA Rams with some weapons that Matt Stafford has. So week 5, pick 'em. You can pick with us on social media platforms and see how we do week in and
I forgot to pull up the history, by the way. That's my fault.
Yeah, I was gonna ask at the top, but I forgot.
If you guys want to wait, I could probably find it really quick.
Why not?
Yeah, let's hear the history before we end.
Got some hold music, Kirby. You got some.
Yeah, we could play Kirby's Corner again.
Kirby's Corner.
Keep talking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for another week
Kirby,
of NFL.
How does it feel to be in first right now?
All right, that's enough. We don't have to actually hear from him. All right, here we go.
I didn't bring it up.
Okay, here we go. So, week 5 last year, or going into week 5 last year, we were essentially all in the same spots that we're in, aside from Kirby. Kirby is still 2 games to the better. Dan, you were 14-10, obviously. Right. 14-9 this year because of the tie. And I was 13-11. So once again, proving, boys, that at this point last year, I was in last place and I ended up winning the whole thing. So never count your boy out. Just never count me out. Look, anybody being like celebrating me.
Ask me.
Anybody celebrating me, not necessarily blowing it out of the water to start off the season. The last 3 years, I haven't blown it out of the water. I catch up at the end. That's when it matters most. Kirby, your 2-game lead isn't safe. You could drop down to a 1-game lead, or you could expand to 3 games for me. But either way, I'm still within striking distance, baby. And if you know, I'm all gas, no brakes, baby.
Okay. Yeah.
Kirby,
thank you.
Okay.
He knows better not to try to beat me in a game of trash talk, because he knows that when you're the 4-time loser, you can't talk to the 3-time champ like you have a dog in this fight.
I mean, did I fire any shots at you today about it?
Listen, I still got to put you in your place, Kirby. I still got to keep you humble, my boy.
Well, I didn't even fire any shots.
You don't have to fire shots. You don't have to fire any shots. It's necessary for me to keep you humble.
We can remind you too that the pancakes are still calling.
You still owe us pancakes, my boy.
The pancakes are calling.
Yes.
I
know.
Yummy.
I know. But that's the week 5 pick'em that wraps up the Kirby on Sports podcast.
I don't like this. There we go. I don't like this.
All right. Oh my gosh.
I don't like that.
Well,
that was uncomfy.
Boys, another fun show. It's always an honor and a privilege to be with you week in and week out, talking about the sport we love the most, NFL.
Always a good time, boys. Let's go have another great week, huh?
Absolutely.
Was I supposed to end this on something epic? I wasn't ready for this.
Yeah, why not?
The Kirby on Sports podcast, the presenting sponsor, Frederick County.
I can cut a promo really quick. I can cut a promo on these jabronis real quick, thinking that they can come for my title. They can't come for this title, baby, because this title belongs to me. It's going to die with me. When I'm buried deep 6 feet under in the ground, I will be buried with these belts. The Pick'ems lives and dies with your boy. Dan has claim to one. Kirby will never have a claim to one.
Yeah. Okay.
That was good. Well, that was a good promo.
Well, that wraps it up. We want to thank all of our sponsors: Frederick County Parks and Recreation, PM Plus Reserve, Shenandoah Primitives, Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate, Barrett, Pest and Termite Services, Mark Lynch with Guild Mortgage, Shenandoah Music, Icon Media, On the Road Driving School, Nulook Landscaping, the Cider House, and Barry Pearson with Equipment Share Advanced Solutions. For all your equipment rental needs, contact Barry Pearson at 540-935-1069. The official energy drink of the Kirby on Sports podcast. Don't sleep energy. Use promo code KOS podcast for 12% off your order every single time. We appreciate you spending some time with us here on the Kirby on Sports podcast. Do us a favor, give us a follow on all audio platforms, like, comment, share, and subscribe if you're on YouTube as well. We want to hear your thoughts. Let us know if you want us to discuss anything in the world of NFL or anything.
You know, better yet, put in the comments section, do you think Kirby is going to do it this year? Will he finally win a pick? Not even that. You know what? You don't even have to set the bar that high. All right.
A nice poll question.
Will Josh Kirby at least finish in second place this year? We'll find out.
Yeah, leave that in the comments and interact with us. We love hearing from the fans and supporters of the Kirby.
And by the way, before we go, I do have to address the situation here real quick.
Uh-oh.
Controversy. Uh-oh. Your father said some words, Kirby, and I feel I must respond.
What?
He commented on one of our episodes.
What?
I know we're trying to end the show, but like... Wait. We have to address this.
Wait, when was this?
When was this? Week 2 episode
on Facebook or what?
No, on YouTube.
Let's pull this up and see.
I believe it was that one where he was laughing about me telling you to be humble. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, listen to me right now. I'm the 3-time PickEm champion. We're on the road to the 1,000-day celebration. Okay, I have all the right to be a cocky son of a gun. All right, I have to keep this man in check. We can't let his head get too big because that sets up for disappointment. Listen, at the end of the day, if Kirby wins this thing, I will genuinely be happy that he won this thing because it's about damn time that somebody dethroned me, okay? Dan's the only one that's come close, but he hasn't been able to get the job done 3 years, okay? This is the greatest redemption story. One of these two is going to be the Cody Rhodes to my Roman Reigns, okay? One of these two will end my historic title run. Now, will they be as great as champions as me? Absolutely not. Of course not. It just looks right. It just looks right on me, okay? But I get all the rights to be cocky. So take that, Ron Kirby.
Cutting a promo against his dad. Now.
Yeah. No one is safe. I'll cut a promo on my own mother. And I love her to death, but I'll cut a promo on her real quick.
All right, we got to hit the road. We will catch you next week for Dan and Carlos. I am Josh. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will catch you next time. Peace out.